Ever wonder what is actually inside the human body? Well, now's your chance to see it live at the Bodies Revealed exhibit at the Da Vinci Science Center. Here's what we learned.
The Da Vinci Science Center is a hands-on science center for people of all ages. Last year, we served about 93,500 people in our programs here at the center, but also out in the community.
We all have a body. We all live in it 24/7. We all need to know a lot more about how it works, how it functions, how it's impacted by disease, and what we can do to take better care of it.
We do things like summer camps on topics that include astronomy, geology, biology, physics, chemistry, forensics, all the big things in science, anything you can really think of. We go out to schools and we have our educators teaching the kids hands-on science in their classroom. The kids who are in the classrooms of the teachers that we've worked with do significantly better on their PSSAs.
We need to have them develop good habits, and we need to excite them about medical information, about their bodies, about health and wellness.
Our most popular exhibit is an exhibit called Tunnel Vision. It's an 80-foot long tunnel. Kids enter in one end and they climb up and around and down and back out the other side. When they get in there, our volunteer will turn the lights off, and the kids start to realize that their sense of touch becomes more important. There is a beehive in the Science Center and a tube that goes out to the outside world, and bees fly 2 to 3 miles from the Science Center. They collect their nectar, they collect their pollen, they fly back into this hive that's right inside the center, and there's plexiglass on both sides so the kids can really see how bees work. It is a remarkable experience. Our touch tank. It is essentially a very large saltwater aquarium. We have horseshoe crabs, we have starfish, we have anemones, and the idea behind it is to touch the animals, to feel how a starfish feels on the tap, to understand how a horseshoe crab might react to different stimuli, including touching its legs and things like that. Again, hands-on science at its best.
We want children to come here and learn about their bodies too.
We opened our Year of the Human Body.
So we start with the skeleton, something that everybody's familiar with, framework of our body, but yet very unique. And then we add muscles, which allow the skeleton to move at joints, nerves that innervate the muscles, heart and blood vessels that nourish them, along with the lungs that bring in oxygen. As the systems are added and as they interrelate with one another, you can understand more accurately how they work and how you can become a better caretaker of your body. And once we learn those important lessons, our bodies will say thank you for it.
And I would like to invite anyone to come to the Da Vinci Science Center to explore math and science. Really understand that you can do it with your hands, with your minds, and with your hearts. And as a matter of fact, feel free to ask for me, because I would love the opportunity to come down to meet you and show you why I love math and science so much. And maybe you can fall in love too.
Joining us in the studio today is Troy Thrash, the Executive Director of the Da Vinci Science Center. Troy, great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
A big question. How are you able to get the Bodies exhibit to come right here to the Lehigh Valley?
Well, I'll tell you, this exhibit was 18 months in the making. We got a call from Premier Exhibitions, the company down in Atlanta, Georgia, that puts on this exhibition around the world. And they called me and said, you know, we want to try this out in a smaller market. It's played all over the world in large cities, but we want to see how it's going to do in a market like the Lehigh Valley. And they said, we've seen how you're growing at the Science Center. They've seen where you're drawing people from, whether it's Center City, Philadelphia, or Scranton, or Harrisburg, or Western New Jersey, and said, you guys are the perfect candidate to try this out. And so we really never would have dreamed we could have brought this opportunity here to the Lehigh Valley, but it's here, and we're just loving every day.
It's really special. I mean, I was so excited to hear that it was coming. I have school-age children. We love the Da Vinci Science Center. It's really quite a gem here in the region. I don't even think people realize sometimes how extensive the programs are there. So now to have the bodies exhibit, what kind of feedback are you getting from students and educators in the Lehigh Valley?
Well, I'll tell you, we're about a month and a half now into the run of Bodies Revealed, and just in the numbers themselves, we've had about 4 times as many people come to the Science Center over those 6 weeks than we did last year at this time. And the feedback that we're getting is remarkable. Students, teachers, parents, everyone really understanding our mission, which is bringing science to life for people of all ages, thinking about just the kids in school. You know, we talk about how, if they're lucky, they get 20 minutes of science a week, and they get it in a textbook. So they're reading and they're looking at 2-dimensional pictures. So think about an anatomy book. Think about the pictures you would see in there. Now imagine standing face to face with a real human body.
What a difference that would make.
Absolutely. Yeah. It really is that learning experience. It provides that context that you absolutely can't get on a whiteboard, you can't get from a textbook. Really, we bring it to life.
Yeah, I would think it would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Like you said, you're never going to get to experience that in any book. How long is this exhibit going to be at the Science Center?
This exhibit is going to be here, I'll say, until at least February 10th. We will have the option to potentially renew for another month if all continues to go well. And again, everything we're hearing has been so positive that we're looking forward to even extending the run of this particular exhibit. One thing, though, I wanted to mention was, on October 6th, when we opened this exhibit, we also opened up what we call our Year of the Human Body, sponsored by St. Luke's University Health Network. That includes the Bodies Revealed exhibit, but also over the summer we have an exhibit called Grossology.
I heard about that one coming. I know my kids can't wait to get there for
And I'll tell you, that is exactly how it sounds. It is about all of the gross parts of the human anatomy. The farting, the burping, the belching, all sorts of things. I will tell you, it's based on a children's book of the same name. It is so popular with the kids. We cannot wait to bring that experience as well. We've got all sorts of programs that we have going on at the center, including 2 mini medical schools that's going to be run by St. Luke's University Health Network, programming every day.
Now, I know that at Da Vinci Science Center you have obviously a great number of employees and people and helpers, but I think you get some help from the community as well. Is that correct?
Well, we really do. We are a staff. We're a small staff. We have about 18 full-time staff members, about 40 part-time staff members, but we also have 160 volunteers, dedicated volunteers. I think our youngest volunteer is 14, and I believe our oldest is 86. And it is remarkable to see these people, especially our older volunteers, come in. Many of them have lived a life of science. They've had a teacher, they've had a mentor, they've had an experience that really propelled them to live this life. And so they want to give back. They want to give one kid that aha moment, like, wow, I can do science with my hands and with my mind and with my heart, as we say, and maybe propel them to a future career right here in the Lehigh Valley.
That's wonderful. I love to talk about organizations where the volunteers are kind of the life of the organization.
Absolutely.
What would you tell someone who's never been to the Da Vinci Science Center about why they should come?
They should come because math and science is so important to the future of our community, the future of our state, the future of our country, the future of every individual. When you think about the jobs of today or even the jobs of tomorrow, whether it's the healthcare industry, manufacturing, biotech, whatever that might be, more and more technology is involved in every single thing we do. And so those skill sets are going to be critically important for every child that's going to be graduating from high school, from college. And so what the Da Vinci Science Center does is bring those pieces to life, the math, the science. It makes people understand that they can do it, but we also want to show that there are great careers out there, and we want to help with our partners to show that there are some pathways that these kids can get there. Because if we want to thrive in the Lehigh Valley, socioeconomically in the future, we need that skilled workforce, and we're here at the Da Vinci Science Center to help make that happen.
You know, Troy, I have to tell you the feedback that I've been hearing, a lot of youngsters come to the Da Vinci Science Center, may not have been a big science fan, you know, in school, may have been not their thing. After a visit to the Da Vinci Science Center, they come away with a whole new outlook, a whole new attitude.
Changes everything.
Yeah, it really does. They go back with excitement to their science class.
Well, as we say, we are open to exciting possibilities, and our mission is we bring science to life and lives to science. Because you're absolutely right. So many people grow up, what they hear is math is too hard, you're not going to be able to do science, and that really shuts people off. So what we want to do is make it accessible for everyone, and again, to just give them that spark to see they can do it, because once they get that spark, it's hard to let it go.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. We really appreciate it. It's a great program. For more information, you can go to thepeaktv.com. Thanks for joining us this week. We hope you'll stay tuned next week for another exciting show.
This is The Peak, where becoming your best self is our goal.